We are back at Chicagoland, and we are green on CW.
Great launch by both of those guys on the front row. You got to think the outside's better as we run around here. If he can pinch Brent Crews down a little bit, we'll see what that momentum is like.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, yeah, on the exit of 2
Massive.
right there. Connor was committed wide open around 1 and 2 on these mile-and-a-half racetracks. But Brent does a nice job sliding up right there in front of Corey Day.
Yeah, and the reason that works is you put that bottom car in such a compromising position air-wise. All these other cars, look at Jesse Love to the top in 3 and 4. Looking outside, and Corey Day wasn't able to quite get there. So he's going to try to pop the outside here down the front stretch. Trying to hold off the 9.
With the bumps, I thought it might be single wide, 3 and 4. We were thinking 3 wide, lap 1, just let it go. And the guy that started on the front row was Zilisch. Brent Crews fading a bit here late. He's back to 10th and could lose that spot. He saw his teammate get around him, William Zilisch, and racing here with Carson Kvapil.
Yeah, and you're going to see the 19 of Brent Crews right here on the exit. See Carson slides up a little bit. It's going to put Brent Crews in a vulnerable position, and a little contact right there with Joey Gase on his outside. That could have been huge, especially if you slide down through the infield right here, knowing how much rain we've had. It could be a day ender for you.
That's the slightest tap you could possibly have in this position where the car takes off like that on the exit of the corner. Did a great job to hang on to it. William Zilisch did a great job on the Brent Crews radio.
Right front or something, man. The tightest I've ever been in my life.
Right, so we mentioned this about Sammy Smith, and we've heard this from a couple drivers. If you're tight on a green racetrack, the big fear is hurting that tire, those front tires, especially that right front. It sounds like to me, Brent Crews possibly, we'll find out when he gets to stop, that could be a corded tire that's just lost all its grip. Now it's about just nursing it these next few laps and hoping it doesn't go down so you can get to the end of this stage. And you're seeing the battle for 10th in the stage. The last point, Viking Motorsports. Oh, Retzloff sliding up into his teammate Alfredo. Here's Cole Custer in the 0, and Allgaier slips away. Says, you guys sort it out amongst yourselves.
Another guy doing double duty this weekend, going to lead them all in the opening stage of the race. Connor Zilisch, wire to wire, gets his 5th stage win of the year. It's one behind Allgaier for the most. And the battle for stage points. You got Allgaier in 9th, Kvapil in 10th, and here comes Alfredo now trying to get a stage point as well. Good battle at the line. Allgaier ends up 9th, Alfredo 10th. Yeah, and problems for his teammate, Carla.
Man.
Connor Zilisch wins the opening stage, and a fuel problem for the one group. Here's team radio.
I lost fuel pressure. All right, right on the flat. Should be slightly the power and everything. I got nothing. It's 10-4.
That's heartbreak.
It's like it never ends, the bad luck that he's experienced here in 2026. What was their problem late in the run, Dylan?
Yeah, well, and he had faded to 20th by the end of the first stage. He'd come on the radio and said he felt like they had a bad right front, and when they took it off the car, it basically had looked like it had started to unwind the rubber from the tire. It almost became like a grooved tire. It had worn out so much. So the pit crew actually did a pretty good job here. He's going to restart 12th, so gain some spots back on pit road. But here's that right front, right when it came off of the 19. So that's obviously not ideal, and that explains what Brent was feeling and why he was dropping so many spots.
Well, and his teammate had a problem too. Safety violation for William Zilisch in the 18 group. Would have restarted 6th. He'll come from the back after the penalty. Free pass goes to Jeb Burton, and Connor Zilisch was able to get to pit road, get it filled, and he stays on the lead lap. Here's the penalty for Zilisch.
Oh. It was over the line when it fell over. The crew member out there.
There's been a lot going on in this race.
Yeah. And just for Connor Zilisch, one thing to note is that we ran a lot of pace laps there when we were trying the track. And those JRM cars, Hendrick Power, they've been winning races. They have a lot of power in the hood, but they've been getting pretty bad fuel mileage compared to the past. Sound like maybe they just ran out of fuel.
By the way, Brandon Jones, you see him there in your screen outside of row 5 for the restart. He made up some ground on the pit lane. Stage 2 underway. Chase Elliott, the control car, outside of Jesse Love. Here we go from Chicagoland.
Saw that outside prevail on the initial start. Again, Chase Elliott gets a big run on the outside, but Love able to slide up right there in front of Corey Day. Gets himself in a good position. All these guys get to regroup now. The amount of grip that these cars are going to have versus where they ended at the end of that stage, it's going to be massive. It's a second and a half, 2 seconds a lap faster than what they were running there. Everybody gets another shot at getting the balance where they need it to be. You see Corey Day now struggling just a little bit, got some dirty air, lost some momentum, lost a couple positions in one lap.
I wouldn't be a good gambler because just when I'm ready to put money on a guy to get a spot, he loses too. I mean, the back and forth really has been something.
Look at the line that Corey went to, though. That's where he was good just a second ago. I talked about him losing speed. Look at the run he has down the back right here. Again, going to enter right against the wall. And I said it with Chase Elliott. It's he got loose as he turned down the racetrack. He knows that he can find some lap time up there. It's a little bit dangerous, but he had massive speed down the back. Yeah, we agree.
He said that way more calmly than I would have anticipated. And this track continues to produce a lot of highlights already. Look at this.
Excuse me.
17 to Corey Day. Give a little love to Justin Allgaier. And Justin Allgaier is fourth. Let's get 7 team radio. Look out, he's hanging on to it.
Holy moly, that fireworks smoke. I just told the guys, I said, man, it's starting to look like shark.
We agree. That's exactly what we thought.
When you're out front, you're leading by 2.5 seconds. Everything feels a little smoother, right? Final lap, stage 2. Here comes number 88. Chase Elliott going to get it done. Good work from the crew. Great restart from the driver. And he executes a stage win. It's his second career stage victory. Jeremy Clements having an issue.
Yeah, this was
Unexpected.
yeah, to say the least, especially for him. He's going to lose the left rear wheel here. And that wheel is going to continue.
He raced it back to pit road.
Yeah, it came all the way back around to go into the infield. They dragged this car on the left side frame rail all the way around. And here's the tire and wheel going into the infield.
I think
Just missed the Menards logo.
Tell you what, Parker doing the play-by-play of that whole process was great.
Well, thank you.
I think
I've been
safety
auditioning.
workers,
How'd I do?
That's
I
great.
think the safety workers did rock, paper, scissors to figure out
Your
who had to
turn.
chase it
Your
into the
turn.
grass
That's
because
right.
it was wet and muddy out there. Jesse Love comes off second, and here's Chase Elliott coming in.
Oh, he had to go around Jeremy Clements. It cost him 2 spots as he exited pit road. Just wasn't able to get in there as fast as he needed to.
So Taylor Gray's going to be in control. And we just been updated here. Bottom right of your screen, the fella here in the black shirt stepped onto a hot pit road. He's in the opening. You can't really see the opening there, but there was an opening, and that's what allowed him to get around the pit lane, and he was penalized. There you see it.
Yeah, and there's the opening where the cameraman is right there. You saw it when they panned left. The official was standing right there, and his foot went over that line. You can't do that.
Gray, Love, front row. They're coming through the Poet restart zone. Final stage at Chicagoland.
Taylor Gray spreads out trying to get away from that side draft, but Jesse Love is there. Can Love clear him? I think he's going to at the exit of turn 2. Look on the top. Look at Chase Elliott having this huge run on the outside.
Inside lane prevailed on the restart for the first time tonight as Love gets the lead. 3 wide for a second behind him.
Chase opting to run that kind of third groove around there as Taylor Gray just got swallowed up on that restart. Jesse Love's gonna have to go to full defense mode here with the 88.
Sheldon Creed had a great move to the bottom to slot himself into the top 5. Was able to gain 2 positions doing that. Now goes to the middle, looking the outside of Taylor Gray.
Brent Crews dove to the apron that last time around. 19 starting to feel it up.
2 different lines here down to 3 and 4. Jesse's going up the racetrack a little bit.
This is hard to defend if the 88 gets that momentum. See, he's now gonna slide down to the inside.
They race for the lead. Right of your screen, things getting dicey as well. Day going after Zilisch. Here's Chase Elliott. Boy, look at the 88 wiggle as he goes after Jesse Love for the point.
Well, we saw that earlier in the race. He was very timid on the entry. This gets down to the end. I think we see a little different Chase Elliott on how aggressive he'll be right there. Clearly has a little bit of a quicker car, but Taylor Gray, who struggled on the restart, is now back there.
Well, we got a lot going on the right side of the screen. The other HendrickCars.com car there of Corey Day getting super sideways. As Chase Elliott gets the bottom of Jesse Love.
I was ready to say all clear, but he just can't slide up. Love the rally outside. Three-man dance for the lead at Chicago.
And you said timid, Jamie, about Chase Elliott on the entry. It seems that way, but maybe it's disciplined a little bit. You know, he's just getting such good runs.
Yeah.
He's just not overdriving the entry. He doesn't have to take excessive risk on the entry of the corners, and is still able to get to the inside and beside Jesse Love to use the side draft.
He'd like to get to the outside. Love has given him the bottom, but it's harder to complete that pass because of not wanting to be overly aggressive.
Did he do it there? Not quite.
It's going to be close.
This is where you do have to just try and be a little over the top. There he goes.
Hey, I got to tell you what. I mean, Chase Elliott, Cup champion, O'Reilly champion. We know how talented he is. He's been great tonight. But you have got to give a lot of credit to Taylor Gray. Starts 25th, coming off the disappointment last week. But he's been so good tonight. Second, when you talk about points earned. And as we hit lap 110, going for the race lead. 54 strong at Chicago.
See Chase looking out of his left side mirror right there as he saw the 54 pop up. It's a strong move by Taylor Gray to able to complete that on the inside. Chase is going to try to cross him over, but I just feel like the 54 is going to be in the preferred position, carry that momentum on the exit. He'll be able to pick the throttle up right here. Have a little bit of a gap here as they exit the corner.
Chase Elliott second, 3.2 seconds behind. And a little bit of a kiss here for driver 88.
Little wall tap right there off of 2. You noticed the Goodyear lettering was missing, and then a second time, watch this. This is a great visual. You're running up next to the wall and you just get a bit sideways and tap it. That's great. Well, then it gets a little harder right there.
Yeah, the good news is though, when you're that close to it,
you can get away with it.
Yeah, they're not big impacts. Let's hear what Chase had to say about all that.
So don't need to save a ton, but we just needed 2 or 3 tenths better fuel mileage numbers for our fuel. Somebody wants to know how you feel about getting your fuel number? Well, I'll be honest, I'm not saving a whole lot.
Wheeling caution lights are on.
Roll slow. Don't let it tear up the quarter panel.
For Connor Zilisch, and that tire carcass bouncing around. First natural caution of the night. The only other 2 we had were for the endings of stage 1 and stage 2. And boy, does this caution come out at an interesting time, because for so many, and it'll take a couple of laps before we get pit road open, but you're just outside the window, but you absolutely have to pit.
All the time. I got my bias all the way forward, my left rear shut off.
So I'm assuming that this happened from maybe getting the wall like we saw Chase Elliott there, and that's the risk you run, is that body gets pushed against the tire and cuts it down. What Connor was referencing there was having his brake bias all the way to the front to try to tighten it up on the entry, and then also cutting off the left rear brake. You can do that with the lever inside the car. That teams give the drivers that tool to be able to make it tighter on entry when you use the brakes, but he was talking about how he was just sliding up into the wall.
All right, man. Everybody's close on fuel. Nobody can make it, including us. Just too many laps to save. So just keep doing what you're doing. Keep saving hard. If we get a quick caution or something here, goodbye is what we need.
How about Joe Gibbs Racing? We talked about their efforts on the pit lane. That 18 team has gained 11 spots since they had that penalty early in the race. Let's get an update. Corey Day, Kim.
Yeah, as we talk fuel, Adam Wall, the crew chief, say we're not going to even try. We are 10 laps short, so plan on either pitting under green or if we get a caution.
All Joe Gibbs Racing front row. Restart coming with 61 remaining. Taylor Gray in charge as the leaders hit the Poet restart zone.
Taylor Gray struggled on that last restart, ended up losing a couple of spots. You see Brandon Jones. Wow, great restart. Is he going to have the momentum at the right time, though? Down here in turns 1 and 2 is Love all the way to the top.
Look at this restart. Does he quite clear Taylor Gray? I don't think so. It's going to give Taylor the momentum down the back. Now it's a side draft into 3.
Brandon Jones inside, Taylor Gray outside, Chase Elliott right there with him.
That 88 car fires off so good. He's able to run that second line. He's going to make it 3 wide for the lead.
2 for 1. Are you kidding me on the apron? Here comes Chase Elliott, charging to the inside in the 88, and he leads once again in Chicago.
And he was finally aggressive, like we talked about, Parker. He was patient maybe early on, but not for the lead late. The 88 sailed it off in there, slid up in front of those guys, and got the lead.
Oh, no way.
Wow. Back at Chicagoland Speedway, caution out for the 4th time. One car got away from Connor Zilisch.
Here's Connor.
Gotta wonder, did he have another flat?
Well, he talked about how loose this car was, and that's, I mean, maybe he'd already hit the wall and the tire was going down, but
That's a classic case of something broke, and it was called rear traction.
yeah, that's one way to put it. He talked about putting the brake bias all the way to the front, and since vaulting away from the field in stage 1 and then running out of fuel, this has all gone the wrong way for this team.
Green again in Chicago.
You see Chase giving a little help. Pretty good restart, though, for those guys.
Taylor Gray hopping out of line. There goes Elliott.
4 wide.
Pushing through. This is incredible on the restart. Brandon Jones gets the lead. Taylor Gray is there.
Chase knows how important it's going to be to try to clear the 54 right here to get some position as Love makes it 3 wide, or tries to.
Doesn't quite get there. I think Chase should have the momentum over the 54 and now to have a big run on Brandon Jones here down the front stretch. There he goes to the bottom, inking that corner as short as he can to try to get up to the quarter panel and side drive. Doesn't quite get there.
He winds it up in the outside lane, dives to the apron at the start-finish. Now he's working the high side again.
Well, the 88 is so good on new tires. He's good on the long run as well, but he just got to be able to run a little higher than Brandon and try to generate one of those runs. Saw him do this on the last restart. See if he can carry that momentum. It looks to me like the 20 had a great corner right there.
You know who's doing a great job? Carson Quapple. He kind of laid in the weeds all night long, but he's 5th. Best running position of the night as we go inside of 40 laps to go.
Brandon Jones is doing an exceptional job right there, able to manage the front of this pack, holding Chase Elliott back, who we've seen be so good on all of these restarts.
On the right side of your screen, oh, we got one going around. That's William Zilisch.
Wow. Wheel and caution lights are on. That's number 5 tonight. And you think about Zilisch, who had worked his way to the top 5 and how important all the points are. He was 6th. Woo!
Oh, this is 2 teammates. That's Brent Crews in the 19, goes up the track, gets in the left rear. That extension on the nose of the Toyota Supra there caught his teammate.
Did William maybe have to check up a little bit? It almost looked like maybe he's getting close to the wall.
Oh, yeah.
He did. Yeah, had to check up a
right.
little bit, I think, because he was getting out close to the wall. Crews misjudged that a little bit, but inside of that, you feel like everyone's going to fire off in these new tires quick.
That's great observation. He did.
Oh, just a little bit, slightest contact.
And that's when that.
It's an all JGR front row. Brandon Jones in control. 30 laps to go at Chicago. Nice jump inside lane, Taylor Gray.
Look at Chase Elliott, though, going to get to the outside. Can he make it work?
Looking at 3 wide. Can't quite get there.
Taylor's so loose on the bottom. Jones is going to have the momentum on the outside.
Boy, we just had 2 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyotas get together. Now they're racing for the lead. They're 2 teammates. And there goes Taylor Gray grabbing the race lead from the inside lane. 28 to go. Elliott driving below Brandon Jones.
Man, that's a lot of throttle. You can hear him wanting to get back to it, but knew he was going to slide up. Now he's in a great position right here. Look at him get back to the gas. That car turning so well. Gonna try to slide up in front of him right here. Oh, it's so tight.
Hangs on to it. Wow. Elliott the second, maybe. Brandon Jones not going away outside lane.
That was tight like 4 different times. The side, the front, the back. It was everywhere.
And
McMurray came out of his chair in the booth.
And Brandon's fought all the way back to maybe clear down the back.
No, he hasn't. No.
This battle, it won't end. And Taylor Gray saying, thank you, guys.
Oh, slowly driving away right here as they're still going to be side by side. Brandon just has that momentum on the exit. Gosh, what a race between these 2 guys.
What's the anxiety level on the spotter stand? Oh, boy. Jesse Love is right there as well.
That's one of those moments you clear yourself. The spotter really can't do that. Chase looked in his mirror and thought he was clear, and then Jones had a little bit of draft. Gave him a tap. Oh, he's going to pack some air on him right here. He's frustrated.
And that forced Chase up the racetrack a little bit. He gets back beneath them, and now they're side by side. Once again, they will not quit.
You remember last year when we had playoff media day and we talked to Brandon Jones? He said, I feel like I have been laying back a lot in my career. It's time for me to go take. And we're seeing a little bit of that mentality right here as the 20 goes back around Chase Elliott. Wheel and caution lights are on. Ryan Sieg. 6th time we've seen the yellow tonight.
Oh, right front just blew out.
Debris everywhere. He was 28th. 11 laps to go. Taylor Gray in charge.
Oh, but Jesse Love was right there, and he goes to the bottom. 3 wide. 4 wide.
Gray tried to block inside lane. Jesse Love gets the race lead, but here comes Chase Elliott outside. Look at the 88.
He did it on the outside. He cleaned it off under caution, and then he goes to the lead.
We were 4 wide going to turn 1, pushing and shoving, and Chase Elliott going to grab the top spot. What a run.
Look at this
Crash.
Sarpoli, Calcique.
7th of the night.
Late in the race, we got a caution here. We see them off into turn 1. That's Sarpoli in the 48. Calcique, he just loses it, goes up the track. Ooh, catches Brennan Poole in the 44, and a little bit for LeVar Scott in the 45, the Alpha Prime teammates.
Overtime presented by Credit One Bank for what's ahead.
Wow, Chase ran a little early there.
Wow, it's good. He was such a big separation. The 2 behind him, it doesn't give a chance to get a run for Jesse Love.
Jones.
Side by side, off the corner, Jones is there. Elliott not going away outside lane.
Brandon did a great job fighting back on the inside. It's going to be in a good position right here. It's going to be all about the momentum that Chase. Oh,
How deep did he go? Look at this, slide it up.
Brandon Jones coming back to the white flag. 20 in the race lead.
What a restart by Brandon Jones to be able to stay side by side and then clear him when they got down to 3 and 4.
He actually shipped it down into turn 3, was able to get there, but look at Chase out on the outside. Hits the wall a little bit, still had some momentum.
See what he can do down in 3 and 4. Can he generate that run around the top? He goes to the bottom.
Final time, turns 3 and 4. Outside Brandon Jones, inside Chase Elliott. A couple of Georgia drivers going after it. It's Brandon Jones